This is Valerie Van Boeven with the Senior Care Industry Netcast, where leaders with 3 or more years of experience in the senior care market share their advice. So let's get to it in a few sentences. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much. I am Ruby from CareSmartz. I am part of an organization that helps manage home care agencies more efficiently in their day-to-day operations. So we provide a technology solution that helps home care agencies to really do, it's an end-to-end solution all in one. So they can do their client intake, their caregiver hiring, scheduling, finding the right caregiver for their clients, even billing and payroll. We are connected with multiple third-party billing and payroll providers, so they can just use one system and seamlessly send data to different providers, third-party vendors. It's also inclusive of electronic visit verification for those who bill Medicaid.
Nice, very nice. So it's all inclusive, and I know you talk to home care agency owners all day. I talk to home care agency owners all day, and they're looking for less places to have to log in, or their staff has to log in. So this is good because all inclusive means all inclusive, and they don't have to keep going back and forth from one product to another. The two products don't talk to each other, and that's a hassle. So tell us, for CareSmartz, what is sort of an ideal client? What does that look like? Who is using your product and getting the best out of it?
Yeah. So any home care, non-medical, I would say, non-medical home care agency who is serving seniors in facility or at home is the ideal. I mean, they get the most value from CareSmartz, whether they are billing VA, private pay, Medicaid, or even long-term insurance.
Nice.
It's the best option for them. I would still say anybody who's serving more than at least 5-6 clients or optimal 10 clients. So because they put a lot of effort implementing a technology solution, so it really it gives them more value if they have at least 5 clients to serve.
Right. I understand that. So yes, the setup of it, and you have explained this to me, but maybe you can explain it to everybody else. When a company comes on board with you, there's a kind of a long onboarding process, not because it's hard, but because you want to make sure everybody understands how to use the product efficiently. So tell us kind of what happens when somebody signs up with CareSmartz.
I think that is one thing that people are fearful about when they think of adopting a technology or transitioning from one to another. So, and I would say we have done mistakes early on when we started, but we learned from our mistakes, and now the process that we have, it's really robust. Which really puts an ease in this transition process. So first off, we provide a dedicated onboarding manager for each of our accounts. For all accounts that we onboard, we provide them a dedicated support. And then we also help them migrate their data, whether they are coming from a manual process or they're coming from another technology solution. So we have some built-in scripts that we use. We provide them templates, spreadsheets. They just fill in that template, and our technical team at the back end, they upload the data, and then we have a combinational training process after that. We run webinars for our new clients, which is basically we record those webinars as well, so they can really go over the recordings at their own convenient times, because not everybody is available at 11 a.m. if we have something going on. And then we have live trainings, which is the onboarding manager, the dedicated onboarding manager really schedules depending on their availability. And then we also have a huge database of tutorials and video tutorials, help articles, and a chat system within the platform that really searches basis on what they are looking for. So it's really not one thing that helps everybody. It's really combination of things. People like to learn at their own pace and they have their own learning styles.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's really a blended process that really helps agencies
That's great.
to do the implementation.
It sounds like you've touched all the bases, and that's probably a result of being around for a while and learning what different people need at different times. I mean, some people are up at midnight trying to figure out, when no one else is awake, trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do here and here? And they have a whole suite of tutorial videos and webinar things they can rewatch. And other people are doing this all during the day and trying to, and making sure. So having a human person dedicated to helping onboard is so helpful. But I totally understand. And, all those other pieces you just mentioned are really important. We have so many folks that will, like I said, at midnight, they're looking for a video on how to.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'll give you an interesting example. Many owners, they do their billing either at night or over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they get time to really process things. I have to send out all my bills before Friday evening, or let's say Saturday morning. So they have something available. I mean, if they get stuck, if they need support, they have something available to help, so they're not stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so that's great. It sounds like you guys have really covered, like I said, covered all the bases on onboarding. That's awesome. And then, so you talked about people transitioning from another platform and people who are new coming on board for the first time. So talk about so I've got 50 clients and I'm on some other platform and I know I need to transition. I want to transition to CareSmartz. So rewind and talk about that again, because I think that's another thing that people go, because it's hard and I got all this stuff over here. So talk again about how your folks help with that, move that data over for them.
Yeah. So two things here. One, there is a learning curve. Mm-hmm. Even if you know technology, all systems out there, there is a learning curve. They have to maybe do things differently in different platforms. And then the second thing is they always have that fear of losing their historical data.
Yes.
Plus, how the transition will look like. I'm using product A right now. My subscription will probably end January the 31st. Mm-hmm. And these are the questions I hear a lot from prospects. So can I start using it February 1st? Or what do I need to help set up this new system? Mm-hmm. So there is overlapping period that we always recommend. So you cannot really cut off everything today and start using something tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. It's a month overlap probably, or 2 weeks.
Exactly. At least one billing cycle or one payroll cycle. So they have good understanding of the new platform and they can really take data out because they need that data. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about data transition first. As I said, we have built-in scripts in the backend. They don't see that, but what happens once they come on board, during the onboarding time, we give them templates, very simple spreadsheets, nothing technical and not overwhelming at all. They are either maintaining their data. If they are doing things manually, they are maintaining it in spreadsheets anyways. So they can dump that information in that template and send it to us. Simple. Or they're using another platform. And most of the platforms nowadays, they run reports out of that. So they can just run a report in that format and send it to us. And then our backend team really does the magic on that sheet and uploads it. That's how we have tried to make this process really simple and easy, no-brainer, just dumping the spreadsheets over. Mm-hmm. And then we also have a library in our system, which is basically their own library, their own, I would say, document management system. Mm-hmm. So all the historical data that they have, they can just bring the archives and folders and everything and upload in our platform.
Nice.
That way, they don't lose access to any of their historical data.
Very good. Very good. That's great. And I think by now you guys have seen all the different reports from all the other platforms that have come over. So your folks are probably well versed in, okay, this is coming from ABC system. We've seen this before. We know what to do and we know how to make it seamless. So that's cool. That is really nice. I think transitioning for someone who's been in business for a while is always, they know they want to transition, but it's just like changing credit card service providers or something. And it's more important than that, but it is, you think you're going to be such a hassle, but the reality is that it's a great new way to just kind of clear the clutter and start anew. And with your guys' help and your onboarding being so robust, I think that's amazing. So,
yeah, another thing I want to add on, many agencies, owners that I talk to, there's another fear is changing the way they currently work. So they're used to certain processes and they think that if they will choose technology, they will have to change their processes. People will have to do stuff in a different manner, the way your technology platform works. So, and the good part is, I think the topmost differentiator that I always talk about is flexibility in our system, which means we always we work very closely with our clients. So we understand their processes and we do not want them to change their processes 100%. Do not do, because it's a big undertaking to do this. I mean, to really implement a technology. And on top of that, if I ask you to change everything the way you do it our way, probably not going to work, right? So we ask them to, whatever processes that you have that flexibility in our system to just, how you can just put things in a mold and it'll change.
Yeah.
That's our way. I mean, they do not have to change. Our system is flexible enough to implement their own processes.
Nice. That is nice. And I know in having conversations with you before that, I feel like CareSmartz is also very open. Like you say, you have a great relationship with your clients. I think you guys are also very open to making sure that any third party, not any, but other third party services they use can you can look at implementing them or connecting them through APIs. And, so you're not opposed to, if you find a group of people who use a certain platform, you're not opposed to helping with some integration issues, where I know some other platforms are, it's just them and nothing else. So I feel it is nice to hear that coming from a technology standpoint, that CareSmartz is open to helping clients stay connected with those third-party services that maybe they couldn't get connected in the past. So that is really nice.
Absolutely. And on top of that, we have open API infrastructure. I would say for us, data is very important. Not just what we have in CareSmartz for them, it's also, they might be using another CRM, let's say, and they're using a payroll provider or a billing company. We do not ask them to leave everything and then do everything in CareSmartz. Practically, sometimes it's not possible. So the open API infrastructure lets you connect with any third-party vendor.
Nice. That is very
nice. A big plus for agencies using CareSmartz.
Yes, and for people who don't quite understand that, the flexibility that you allow is not only is it a time saver, but it is another set of expenses that they don't have to worry. So if they're already married to this billing system over here, they don't have to worry that piece of it has to change. It doesn't have to change. So until they're later down the road, they want to change it. But it's great. That is a great way to be, in my opinion, because I think if we're stuck with something and we're closed off, and then it makes our lives harder. Just like we said in the beginning, being able to log in one place and see the data you need and not have to log into 50 other things is really a time saver for the whole staff. So that's great. I appreciate the flexibility of CareSmartz. And that's one of the reasons why, I enjoy talking to you and getting to know your products and services, because we find that is lacking sometimes, and CareSmartz definitely steps up there where others don't. So let me ask you a couple of other questions for our folks out there. You told us who is would be a great candidate to use your services. You talk to home care agencies all the time. And so when it comes to operations and it comes to what kind of advice would you give to senior care providers out there, home care providers who are struggling? They're at that point where maybe they've started, they're kind of still small, but they've hit they're growing and they're not exactly sure where to go next. What's your advice to those folks?
I think the best advice I can give, is coming from my experience day to day dealing with home care agencies, is know the value of your time.
Yeah.
It has the greatest value. Things that can be outsourced, do outsource them to the professionals, because it really allows you to focus on the things that really matters. And I would say the most important factor, the most important thing that the owners or the administrative staff should be focusing on is communicating with their clients and caregivers. Lack of communication creates a lot of problems.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We all know that. A lot of owners that I talk to, they want to do everything themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes empowering your team to be their own task manager is really great. You get your time back and you can focus on the things that you're good at. You're focused on the things that matters to your business the most. And I would say communication. Communication is the key. It's the most important part. And these days, you have technology. Technology can eliminate a lot of manual tasks that you do. So outsource.
Yep.
Value your time.
Absolutely. And you're right. Knowing the value of your time is important. And I think what you said is very clear in that spending the time with your caregivers, which we know we need to do because of the turnover, and spending time with your clients, their family members, those things it's much easier to keep a caregiver. It's much easier to keep a client because you're a good communicator than it is to get new ones.
Exactly.
So spend your time wisely, let someone else handle some of this, or let technology automate some of it.
Yes.
So that you're not bogged down every single day. Yeah, it's hard as a business owner to let go of some of those hats that you're used to wearing. But boy, once you do, the freedom is amazing. And the ability to be more creative and think of new marketing ideas or do a little bit more communicating or whatever it is, it's so freeing, and it makes you remember why you got into this business. You didn't get into this business to struggle over billing every week. So yeah, let technology play its role. Okay, last question is supposed to be a fun one. When you have a win in life or in business, just a great day, or you made a difference for that home care agency owner today, or their problem was solved, or whatever it is, how do you like to celebrate?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah. So
food, drink, dancing in the living room. I don't know.
I think the first thing I like to do, and as a company, we all do that. The first thing we do is share and acknowledge.
Yeah.
Sharing with others about the success stories and about the wins, giving due credits, appreciating people at work, at home, wherever is the first thing that we do here, and that brings celebrations on its own.
Absolutely, that's great. Sharing and acknowledging is a great way to celebrate, and everybody can learn from those wins and those celebrations. When you have a happy client, you have a happy workplace. Sort of like happy wife, happy life. So, well, thank you for taking the time to explain to us about CareSmartz. We will make sure that your contact information is with this video, and that folks can get a hold of you if they have more questions or want to know more about the platform. They want to browse your website. We'll make sure it's all there. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me on this Netcast.